So we're just about to wrap up year one of Overwatch. The anniversary's coming up in just a couple of weeks, and it's been a pretty awesome year. We had a bunch of fun events, adding new skins and some game modes, some new heroes, new maps. Blizzard's been doing a pretty good job of updating the game. Now, that doesn't mean though that there isn't more that we're looking for, and specifically, I kind of wanted to go over what I am hoping for in Overwatch year two. I'm going to start off with some of the things that I would really like to see Blizzard do. So first off, new heroes. This is a given. We expect probably 2, maybe 3 more heroes before the end of 2017. But I in particular would love to see a new healer. As it stands right now, we've got 7 offense, 6 defense, 6 tanks, and only 5 supports. However, only 4 of those 5 supports are healers because Symmetra, and really only 3 of those are dedicated healers. Zenyatta's kind of an assassin that's gonna heal you every so often. So I'd like to see another healer. I really think we could use a dedicated healer that fills a little bit of a different role from the 3 that we have right now. Also, I'd love to see some more PvE. After going through the Uprising event, that was something that I really thought would be my favorite. Out of all of the PvE events that we've had, every event that's come out so far, I assumed that kind of a story-driven going through this scenario would be my favorite. However, it turns out that in retrospect, my favorite was in fact Junkenstein's Revenge. That Horde mode gameplay, which turned out to be an excellent way of practicing your aiming, was by far the one that I played the most and enjoyed the most. So I'd love to see Blizzard bring that back in some capacity. Not only just bringing back Junkenstein's Revenge for what is likely going to be 2017's Halloween event, but maybe expanding upon it, or maybe having another Horde mode tied to another event at some point in the year. But as it was, that was definitely my favorite event game mode, and I'd love to see it return bigger and better. What I'd also like to see are some more non-event permanent skins. Up until this point, all of the new skins that have come into this game have been tied to these limited time events, and then once the events are done, that's it. You can't get the skins until they return the next year. The one exception to this, as far as I'm aware, was the Eichenwald update, which included the new Reinhardt skins, but besides that, all new hero skins are limited time only. So I like it if Blizzard added some permanent non-event skins. There is a decent chance that that might be what we get in the upcoming anniversary event, which we're expecting to possibly launch this week, next week, or I don't know, sometime around the 1-year anniversary, which is again just 2 weeks away. New maps I would love to see, but specifically I'd like to see some more verticality to the maps, more up and down, multiple levels. I think that'd be really cool. Imagine like a high-rise apartment that's been destroyed in the center lobby, and instead of just having mostly flat maps that have at most a second level that you could go up to, I'd love to see 3rd and 4th levels, and also with that, just bigger maps in general. As it stands, a lot of the Overwatch maps are relatively small. That is, of course, by design. As far as Blizzard is concerned, fits the gameplay. The only larger maps are the payload pushing maps. I'd like to see even some larger assault maps, for example. Imagine instead of 2 points to defend an attack, there was 3 or 4. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see Blizzard play around with that. And then finally, I'd like to see some more non-event game modes. You know, we've got assaults, we've got capture, we've got the payload maps, we've got the hybrid maps, but what about tug of war? That's something that's been brought up quite often. Imagine a map that's relatively long with a central payload, and you and the opposing team have to fight over that payload, and then once you have control of it, it pushes towards the enemy side. If you die, however, and the enemy captures it back, it pushes towards your side. This little back and forth tug of war style payload is a neat idea, and I think that's something that could fit into Overwatch's gameplay. I'd also really like to see a multi-hill. If you guys ever played Halo, you'd know about the multi-hill King of the Hill. Something similar like that could be put into Overwatch. Instead of just one capture point, have several. And this is going to make it so that the game would revolve less around all of these large team fights where everyone tosses their ultimates in and tries to be the team that comes out on top, but there would be several points to capture at any given time, making some more mobile heroes like Tracer quite viable, as if everyone's fighting on one point, she can jettison over to the other point and quickly capture it. But it might also spread out the teams so that we'd get less large team fights and more small skirmishes. So those are all the things that I would really like to see in Overwatch Year 2. New heroes, specifically another healer, some more PvE PvE like Junkenstein's Revenge, my personal favorite, some more permanent non-event skins, more maps that are more vertical and larger in size in general, and then some new non-event game modes like this tug of war, multi-hill, or anything else that Blizzard can come up with. I think it'd be great if this stuff was added, and I think there's a decent chance that this is what Blizzard will do, might do. But what about some of the pie in the sky stuff? Some things that I really love, I don't expect Blizzard to do, at least this year. First is a map editor. Blizzard has talked about this, but they have said that it's likely several years down the road. It's very complex. Making an editor is something that takes a lot of time to do well and put it into the hands of the public. But I'd love it if it came sooner than later. I'd also love to see a story mode. We got a little glimpse of that with the Uprising event, but again, this is something that takes a lot of time and a lot of money, and Blizzard has said it's unlikely that we're going to be getting it even rolled into base Overwatch. There were some interviews, I recall, that stated that if we do get a full campaign story mode for Overwatch, it might not be until a spin-off of the game, or even an Overwatch 2. But let's not talk about that. Last time I talked about it, people got really pissed. Finally, something that I've been wishing for all along, solo queue. I would love it if Overwatch had solo queue. You don't have to worry about team stacks of 2, 3, or 4, and even though Blizzard's matchmaking does a pretty darn good job of matching you against people of equivalent skill and having equal team sizes on either side, I still think it'd be great if there was just a straight up solo queue where you only ever play against other people as solo queue, and you'll get less of these wonky situations where a full team of top 500 and Masters players ends up playing against Diamond and Platinum players, which there have been plenty of examples of that taking place in the past, and that's a shitty situation, and I think a solo queue would help alleviate that. And then I think a solo queue also helps alleviate the idea of people getting carried and that whole argument, and just in general, we don't have to go into the nitty-gritty of why solo queue is good for games, and we all know why it would be bad for games as well. It would increase queue times for people who did play as teams, and then it would also split up the player base that is queuing up for competitive or for quick play or for whichever. But nevertheless, I would personally enjoy solo queue. Blizzard hasn't done it as of yet. There's no signs that they will do it, but you know, it's just my personal preference. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for me here today as I talk about some of what I am hoping for in Overwatch Year 2, what I personally want. What I'd love to know from you guys is, what would you like? What do you feel like Blizzard should be adding to this game? What do you think they might add? And what are some of the things that you would like, but it doesn't seem too likely that Blizzard will actually do? Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Looking forward to an exciting second year of Overwatch. Thank you all for sticking by my channel, hanging around. Hope you guys continue to enjoy the content. I'm sure there's going to be lots of exciting things to come in the upcoming year. Have a good one, and until next time, I'll see you later.